We live in a time where love is louder than ever, but feels emptier than before. We chase connection, yet fear being seen. This is not the death of love. It's its transformation. We once found joy in quiet kitchens. Now we scroll for miracles, forgetting the small warmth resting beside ordinary mornings. Comparison steals tenderness. Perfect strangers on screens become judges in our heads, while the real person beside us grows frightened. Independence became armor. We learned to stand alone so well that holding someone's trembling hand suddenly felt dangerous, even unnecessary. Deadlines swallowed dinners. We promised to love after the meeting, after the launch, after success finally proved we were worthy. Some of us never learned conflict without cruelty. We confuse volume with honesty and silence with safety, leaving needs unnamed entirely. The body remembers criticism, flinches during kind words, mistakes the gentle pause for abandonment. History whispers louder than present intentions. Dopamine sells shortcuts. Love asks for patience. Attention fragments into notifications, while the heart begs for a longer, quieter conversation. Money stresses soft voices. We count receipts instead of blessings. And fear turns partners into rivals when bills arrive late again. Apologies should be bridges, not verdicts. Say, I hurt you. I understand. Here is how I'll keep you safe tomorrow. Boundaries are not walls. They are doors with handles on both sides, teaching us respectful distance and trustworthy closeness simultaneously. We inherited stories about men and women that no longer fit. Everyone limps under costumes stitched by earlier centuries completely. Loneliness grows in crowded rooms. Connection needs courage, not audience. Sometimes love dies because nobody asks real questions patiently. We practice listening like breath work. Inhale their truth, exhale our defenses. Little by little, trust returns like dawn after long rain. Healing is ordinary work. Grocery lists, folded blankets, clean screens. Simple kindness repeated until the nervous system finally believes again. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is memory choosing compassion. It says, the wound ends here, with me, not further finally. Some expectations were fantasies. We married a future version of someone, instead of learning the language of this living person. Anger often hides grief. We shout because naming the softer ache feels vulnerable. And vulnerability once meant punishment, sadly before. Love is maintenance. Oiling hinges, honest calendars, shared budgets, check-ins after storms. Devotion lives inside unglamorous daily rituals faithfully. You cannot receive what you refuse to admit you need. Say the need aloud. Watch love grow brave enough to answer. We blame love for the labor of living. Yet meaning arrives when we show up, especially when arrival feels inconvenient, difficult. Perfectionism makes affection brittle. Nothing bends. Everything breaks. Better to be lovingly imperfect than perfectly distant, untouchable behind polished defenses. If childhood taught survival, adulthood can teach safety. We choose partners who accept our alarms, yet help us rewire gently. Some doors must close. Kindness includes goodbye. Leaving with dignity protects both souls, freeing room for healthier beginnings waiting. Gratitude is relationship oxygen. It turns chores into gifts. It says, I see you working, and I cherish this effort. Jealousy shrinks when wonder grows. Admire others without subtracting yourself. Love thrives when partners celebrate each other without rehearsed comparisons. We measure time by crises. What if we measured by rituals, Sunday breakfasts, evening walks, small kisses before brave conversations? Technology can host love, but cannot replace it. Bandwidth cannot hold heartbreak. Only presence regenerates trust after misunderstandings inevitably appear. Partners are teammates, not projects. Fixing erases humanity. Witnessing invites growth. Choose curiosity over control, discovery over compliance, always. Saying no protects the yes that matters. Boundaries rescue desire from exhaustion. Then tenderness returns with energy, attention, sincerity. When resentment accumulates, affection starves. Speak early, speak gently. The first truth costs less than the final explosion entirely. True love doesn't erase fear. It offers a hand while fear trembles, saying, I'm here, we'll face this together slowly. Kindness is not weakness. It is strength disciplined by empathy. A power that refuses to wound even when it easily could. We think love should feel constant. But constancy is built, not given, through repairs, forgiveness, humor, patience, and remembering daily grace. Boredom visits every bond. Routine is the soil from which devotion can quietly bloom if we choose to notice beauty again. Trust is not built in grand gestures, but in the quiet moments, where consistency outlasts impulse. A hug lasts longer than an argument in memory. The body archives tenderness far better than logic ever could. Many lose love not for lack of passion, but lack of curiosity. They stopped asking, stopped noticing, stopped exploring the mystery. Apologies matter less than changed behavior. Consistency is how love apologizes convincingly after words fade. Healing is not linear. Some days you'll dance, others you'll drown. Both are valid parts of learning softness again. Peace arrives when we stop scoring points and start keeping promises. Love thrives where competition finally ends. Arguments are not proof of failure. Silence often is. Conflict can be intimacy trying to speak a new language we haven't learned yet. The world rewards performance. Love rewards presence. You can't multitask your way into someone's heart. Some people enter to teach patience, others to teach courage. A few remain to teach gentleness when both run dry. We mirror each other's wounds. What annoys us is often the part of ourselves still waiting for compassion. Some hearts speak quietly, but they mean everything they say. It takes stillness to hear a soul whisper, "I care." Pride pretends to protect, but it only isolates. Humility opens the door where love has been waiting all along. Real romance isn't fireworks. It's reliability, knowing they'll show up, stay, and choose you even when the sky is ordinary. The most loving sentence is often, "Take your time." It tells the heart, you don't need to hurry to be safe here. You cannot rescue someone from their silence. You can only sit nearby and make the quiet less lonely. Healing together is not romantic. It's raw, imperfect, sometimes messy, but it's the truest form of love there is. Even silence can say, "I love you," when shared without fear. Comfort is the language of two people who finally stopped performing. Honesty isn't cruelty. It's clarity offered gently, like light through a curtain, revealing without burning, truthful without shame. Love thrives in boredom when gratitude shows up. Dullness fades when we notice how ordinary life shelters extraordinary care. You can't force timing. Some hearts meet too soon, others too late, but those who stay learn timing inside patience. To love someone long-term is to forgive them, quietly in hundreds of small ways. They'll never even notice. Love asks, will you stay curious when I change? Not, will you freeze me in your memory of who I used to be? Some people confuse peace with boredom, but peace is what remains when the storm of constant proving finally ends. Trust breaks slowly, like porcelain, not loud but final. Healing it means crafting something new, not pretending it never cracked. Love matures when we becomes larger than me, where compromise no longer feels like loss, but partnership shaping harmony. Happiness isn't constant. It visits like weather. Love is what builds a shelter sturdy enough to wait through the rain. We keep chasing the spark, forgetting the fire. Real love is not fireworks, but steady warmth that survives the wind. In a world obsessed with speed, slowness becomes devotion. Love is attention stretched over time. Sometimes the most romantic thing is staying, through boredom, through doubt, through days that look like every other day. The hardest part of love is letting someone see the unfinished version of you and staying soft while they look. We learn boundaries not to keep people out, but to stay close without losing ourselves. Real love is not found. It's built, brick by brick, word by word, touch by touch, year after patient year. When love matures, passion whispers instead of shouts, and what remains is presence that never leaves. Even in silence, some lessons arrive wrapped in loss. The heart learns its strength by breaking and healing again and again. Courage in love means showing the wound without expecting someone else to sew it for you. Love is a daily rehearsal for kindness. Even on bad days, choose gentleness over being right. Real connection doesn't need constant conversation. It's the silence that still feels full that proves we're home. Every love story is also a story about timing. Two people learning to walk in rhythm without losing their own pace. The bravest thing you can say in love is, "I don't know, but I want to learn with you." Sometimes growth looks like letting go, not holding tighter. Love that clings becomes fear wearing a soft disguise. You don't lose people when love changes shape. You lose them when you refuse to let love evolve. Comfort doesn't mean absence of struggle. It means choosing each other even while carrying the heavy things together. Healing is slow because safety must be proven again and again until the body finally believes the thread is gone. Love is not a feeling we fall into. It's a skill we practice. Like balance, we rebuild it each day. Kindness doesn't mean avoiding hard truths. It means saying them with care, remembering that tone can heal what words might hurt. Maturity in love is realizing that sometimes being right matters less than staying kind. Sometimes, love is just two people refusing to quit, not because it's easy, but because they still believe in the story. We often chase fireworks, forgetting the candle, the quiet flame that never stops burning when everyone else leaves. You can't love someone into changing, but you can love them enough to let them find the courage themselves. Fear builds walls. Love builds doors. The same bricks rearranged can create prison or passage. To be loved while imperfect is the only kind of love that heals. Everything else just demands costumes. You don't have to be extraordinary to be loved. You only have to be real. Love is not rescue. It's partnership, two flawed people walking each other home through the dark. When you stop trying to impress, you finally start to connect. Perfection is lonely. Honesty is magnetic. There is strength in gentleness. The ones who can stay kind in chaos are the bravest of all. The best relationships feel like exhale, not performance. Not pressure, just the relief of being fully seen. Forgiveness is love's quiet superpower. It repairs what pride would rather destroy. Intimacy begins when performance ends, when laughter isn't rehearsed, and tears are allowed to fall freely. We can't control how long love lasts, only how gently we hold it while it's here. The heart breaks open, not apart. Pain expands its capacity to feel, not its tendency to close. Maturity in love is choosing truth over comfort, staying for growth instead of staying out of fear. Patience is the rhythm of real love, not waiting passively, but believing in the slow miracle of becoming. We grow by being loved in our worst moments. Compassion teaches us what shame never could. Some hearts stay guarded so long they forget the gate was never locked. Love only needed an invitation. Love isn't about who wins. It's about who listens. Arguments end, but understanding lasts. Real love doesn't demand forever. It asks only for sincerity today, and if repeated daily, forever will take care of itself. Peaceful love doesn't shout. It hums softly in the background, like a song you only notice once the noise stops. The truth is, no one completes us. They remind us we were never missing anything to begin with. Love is remembering to look again, even at what you've already seen 1,000 times, and still finding something new. You can love someone deeply and still need distance sometimes. Space is not rejection. It's how love breathes. We stop falling in love when we stop being curious. Wonder is love's oxygen. Sometimes healing means laughing again at something you once cried about. Even endings can be kind. Not every goodbye is tragedy. Some are gifts wrapped in closure. Sometimes love returns quietly, not as passion, but as peace, a reminder that forgiveness grew roots. Let love find you where you are, not where you pretend to be. Authenticity is the only door it recognizes. The opposite of loneliness isn't company, it's understanding. We feel seen, and suddenly the silence becomes sacred. Love isn't measured by grand gestures, but by the small consistencies that whisper, "I'm still here." Healing doesn't erase pain. It teaches us to walk alongside it without letting it steer. Real love happens between two people who choose curiosity over assumption. Again and again. You can only meet someone as deeply as you've met yourself. Love is not about fixing, it's about witnessing, letting each other exist fully without correction. Sometimes the bravest thing is not leaving or staying, but learning how to stay differently. Growth often looks like gentleness toward what we once judged harshly inside ourselves. The greatest love stories are not about intensity. They're about endurance and daily tenderness. You can't lose what you've truly integrated. Love that taught you something never really leaves. Love is a lifelong conversation. Some parts are laughter, some are silence, all are sacred. Home isn't a place. It's a person who looks at you and says, "You can rest now." When we stop demanding perfection, love finally has room to breathe. It's not about finding someone who never hurts you. but someone who heals with you every time it happens. The secret of long love isn't avoiding fights, but learning how to fight kindly. Some people arrive to teach us love. Others arrive to teach us self-respect. Both are sacred teachers. We don't find love by searching for it. We grow love by practicing it, quietly, in how we show up. Love doesn't erase loneliness. It teaches you to hold it gently instead of fighting it. The right person won't complete you. They'll remind you were already whole. Gratitude turns survival into living. Noticing small kindness is how the heart stays open. Love is less about forever and more about now. Choosing kindness in this moment. Again and again. Love is not a finish line. It's a landscape we walk through, sometimes uphill, sometimes breathtakingly beautiful. The best kind of love is steady, the kind that doesn't rush to impress. It stays to understand. We lose love when we stop saying thank you. Gratitude keeps the heart from going numb. There's nothing ordinary about choosing someone every day. That's devotion disguised as routine. You can't build love on avoidance. Real connection asks for eye contact, even when it trembles. Every apology needs action. Every promise needs follow-through. Love is built on evidence, not echo. The heart's greatest freedom is loving without needing to own. Holding someone gently instead of tightly. Hope is love's shadow. Even in grief, it follows quietly behind us, waiting for its turn to lead again. We grow gentler not because life gets easier, but because we understand pain better. The secret to lasting love is not magic, it's maintenance, attention, and choosing tenderness even when you're tired. Love doesn't always mean staying. Sometimes it means blessing each other's paths and walking forward separately. Lighter. You are not unlovable because you broke. You are beautiful because you still choose to open again. Every heartbreak refines our capacity to love. Pain carves space where empathy can live. You'll know you've healed when peace feels better than attention. True love never demands you shrink. It celebrates your becoming, your unfolding, your growth. Even after loss, love doesn't end. It simply changes form. It becomes memory, compassion, and art. When you finally stop searching for perfect love, you start building real love, slow, kind, and human. Maybe happiness was never about finding someone, but becoming someone capable of gentle love, for yourself and for the world.